Hello and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Today I will be telling you all about my top 10 most anticipated releases of this year. There will be movies, TV shows, video games and more on this list, and they will not be in any particular order, but remember this is my personal list, and I would love to hear what you guys are excited for in the comments below. Without any further hesitations, let's check out what I am looking forward to in 2020. First of all, we have the movie Mulan. This is the newest Disney live-action remake, following the huge success of Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King, as well as some less popular ones like Dumbo and Christopher Robin. I haven't seen the original Mulan film in many years, but I remember a lot of details very vividly still to this day. The film was a masterpiece when it first came out, and it still holds up to this day. This new film will be a new take on the world and the characters, seeing as some of the most popular elements of the original will be removed, like Mushu and the fan favorite songs. But I still think it looks very interesting and very entertaining. The scenery is beautiful, the acting looks good, and just having come out of watching Naruto for the first time, I'm excited to explore more of ancient Asian culture. The second item on this list is the video game LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. For those of you who have watched my top 50 video games of all time video, you'll know that I absolutely adore LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. It's one of my most played games of all time, and I have played it on many different platforms. I was over the moon when this video game was first announced. It's gonna be open world and feature LEGO versions of every single Star Wars movie, both remade versions of the old games and completely new parts in the newest movies that haven't gotten LEGO iterations yet. This game is even rumored to have an option to turn off voice acting, which has me in absolute awe. The graphics look beautiful, and the premise of the game, being able to freely travel between the stories of all the different Star Wars movies and exploring a completely open world environment with hundreds of playable characters, is astounding, and I can't wait for its release. Next up we have Season 2 of The Boys. The Boys was one of those surprise hits to me. I had heard about it from a few different people, but I didn't start watching it until over half a year after its release. And when I finally did, I absolutely loved it. It's such a different show, you know? It's a very rare occasion that we actually get to see superheroes in a different light than we normally do, and it's a nice change of pace. Most of the characters are great, most of them, and it ended on a crazy cliffhanger that set up a second season quite well. I have no clue where they are going with this second season. I haven't read the comic and I haven't watched the trailer, and I don't intend to either. There are just so many directions they could take the story, these now beloved characters, and the world that they have presented us with. And I personally cannot wait to see what they have to offer us this time around. At the fourth spot, we've got an anime. I just got into anime back in December of 2019, and since then I've been completely hooked. I've now watched 18, I think, anime all the way through from start to finish, and one of those is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. I started watching this because I thought it sounded interesting, but I had extremely low expectations for it. I mean, come on, a guy dies and gets reincarnated as a freaking slime? I had no clue how they would make that not only entertaining, but also a delightful experience. They managed to do it though. Rimuru Tempest is a character that you can relate to instantly, and following his journey from spawning into this strange new world into being essentially the king of an entire forest is mind-boggling but still very fun. It has been announced that a second season is in the works, and thanks to the immense praise the creators got for the first season, it's also been confirmed that the release date is this year. I'm stoked, as I'm excited to explore larger spaces of the world and see where Tempest's adventure takes him next. Then we got Escape Room 2. I love horror, I love comedy, I love psychological mind-bending thrillers, and I certainly also do love myself a mysterious setting. Escape Room, a movie that released only a year ago, had all of these elements implemented in itself. I loved the film, I honestly did. I know it had mixed reviews, some people found it pretentious and forgettable, while others thought it was a refreshing take on the horror genre. Personally, I thought it was great. It had surprising plot twists, compelling characters, humor that wasn't tacked on just for the sake of having a lighter tone, and most importantly, it had a lot of tension. The ending left us with a very linear, predictable path for the sequel to take. I won't spoil it here for those of you who haven't watched it yet, but the premise and setup for the second movie isn't really that intriguing to me, but I do have faith that this team can pull it off regardless. The first movie was fun and had some fantastic moments, and I'm hopeful that Escape Room 2 will be able to pull off the same thing. We're halfway there now, hang in there guys. Let's now talk about another video game, The Last of Us Part 2. Oh my god! I am so goddamn excited for this game, you have no idea. For those of you who didn't know already, The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time, along with Uncharted 4 and Kingdom Hearts 2. Originally, when my cousin got the original game, I was like, nah, that ain't it. I didn't care for the zombies and the dystopian setting, but boy was I wrong. After a while, I decided to check out the game for myself because of all the positive things I'd heard about it. And I found it bloody brilliant. The storytelling, characters, emotions, music, everything was top notch. The ending was also a huge cliffhanger, and I immediately knew after playing it that I needed a sequel. The second game will have Ellie as the main character instead of Joel, which I'm not too happy about, but I am confident that Naughty Dog will once again be able to put out an amazing piece of work. I really hope they don't screw it up and ruin the original game by making this one piss poor, but I seriously doubt they will. The Last of Us will always have a special place in my heart, even if the sequel is not as good as the original. After all, it's a very tough game to top. Next up is Wonder Woman 1984. I like Marvel, I really do, but lately their films haven't been that interesting to me. I really enjoyed Spider-Man Far From Home, but Endgame didn't hit me the same way it did many other people, and the other films have been very hit or miss for me. DC has had a much worse track record in my book. I absolutely loved The Dark Knight, Joker, Shazam, Aquaman, and of course Wonder Woman, and I really think there is potential for this Wonder Woman sequel to be good as well. The first movie was awesome, except for the final battle and that silly plot twist that I won't spoil here, and it actually got a pretty surprising emotional response out of me. The death of a certain character hit me particularly hard. I loved the chemistry between Steve and Diana, and seeing the out-of-place feeling transferred from Diana to Steve in this second film would likely prove to be quite an interesting twist in the story. I have faith in Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot, so let's make DC great again. Now we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's second DLC Fighters Pass. I was happy about the characters chosen for the first DLC pack, for the most part. Joker and Banjo were the hypest reveals to me, but Hero looked the most interesting in terms of gameplay. I ended up preferring Terry over all the other characters, and he is now my second best character. I hadn't even heard of him before he was announced, to be frank. Byleth I didn't care for, I don't play Fire Emblem, and because I had so many ideas and wishes for the characters I wanted to be added, I was so disappointed when another Fire Emblem representative was added. Ironically though, my main is a Fire Emblem character, Ike. I love him, but that's beside the point. My main wishes for the second Fighters Pass are Sora from Kingdom Hearts, Rayman, Crash Bandicoot, Dixie Kong, and Waluigi. Although he's most likely never going to get added as a playable character. I would also love for Nathan Drake to be added, seeing as he's my second favorite video game character ever, but I know there's only a 1 or 2% chance that that's ever going to happen. The fighters for this pass won't be fully released until December 2021, but we are probably getting at least 2 or 3 in 2020, so I'm adding it to this list regardless. Second to last, we have Doom Patrol Season 2. This show is just like The Boys for me. I had heard of it, but I didn't care for it until one day when I was bored, so I sat down to check it out. I fell in love with everything it had to offer in the very first episode only. This show is so crazy, absurd shit happens constantly, but they still manage to have emotional character moments, and it never feels too dumb to be fun. It practically does everything right that Legends of Tomorrow does wrong. Let me know in the comments below if you want a video on why I prefer Doom Patrol over Legends of Tomorrow. Season 2 of Doom Patrol is airing this year, and I'm pumped. Mr. Nobody has quickly become one of my favorite villains ever, as he's just so creative and fun and over the top. I could talk for hours about how much I love this show, but I should probably save that for another video. Remember to leave a comment if you want my full in-depth thoughts on the show, and why I think Season 2 has the potential to perhaps even surpass Season 1. Finally, last but definitely not least, we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake. What the actual hell? Someone please tell me how a game can look this good. Not only are the graphics beautiful, but the voice acting is top notch, the music is phenomenal, the character models and designs are fantastic, the gameplay looks so much like Kingdom Hearts and I'm all here for it. I have never played a Final Fantasy game in my life, but I have seen bits and pieces of Final Fantasy 15, and I am already familiar with Cloud and Sephiroth from the Kingdom Hearts franchise, and the two most recent Super Smash Bros. Games. I will also be watching Advent Children before the game comes out, so I am a bit more filled in on the lore before I sink my teeth into this absolute beauty of a game. The most recent theme song trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake sparked my interest a lot more than it previously had, and now I am so excited that I can barely wait. So yeah, those are my most anticipated releases of 2020. What are you guys looking forward to? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. I would love to know and possibly even discuss it further with you all. As I always mention, I have a Discord server which is linked in the description below, so join that if you wish to talk to me more about all these movies, shows, games, anime and everything else you can think of. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!